Welcome to Dramatic Pause, a Rose Theater podcast. On today's episode, we're featuring Sue Gillespie Booton, Jerry Brabec, and Alex Meyer.
All right, so how's everybody doing? My name's Alex, and I'm here with Sue and Jerry. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
You go first, Sue.
Oh, well, hi, everybody. My name is Sue Gillespie Booton. I am the director of Broadway at the Rose Theater. And that means that I am in charge of all the musical theater education there at the Rose Theater. So we do lots of fun things like teach classes in singing, acting, and dancing and all that good stuff. I am also the resident choreographer at the Rose. So that's another thing that I do. That's a really fun job. So, and sometimes I'm even an actor on stage. So sometimes you'll see me every now and then, not so often, but every now and then. And then I'm here with my good friend, Jerry Brabec. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, I'm Jerry Brabec. In case you didn't know, I am one of the musical directors for Broadway at the Rose. In particular, I handle the senior brigade, although I do pass judgment on the junior brigade and the mini brigade as well. But actually, I'm just one of their biggest supporters. It's been a privilege to work with Sue for many years now, I think about 7 or 8. And we've had a great time going to Junior Theater Festival and in Atlanta and also Sacramento, where we've done quite well over the past years. I also serve as one of the music directors at the Rose. I think I'm up to maybe 50 shows or so.
I was going to say.
Really, you're up to that many?
Yep.
Yeah. I tried to catch up as quickly as I could.
I'll say I've been around 5 years, and I think I've seen you probably 30 times doing shows. So, yeah.
Well,
I'm kind of like a bad penny, Alex. I always turn out.
I was gonna say, if you're at 50, that I have no idea where that puts me.
Oh, you're over 100 shows.
Yes.
Shows.
Well, so let's dive in. We're going to talk about some Broadway at the Rose summer things today, maybe some brigade here and there. So, Sue, if you kind of want to have the floor and just kind of tell our listeners kind of anything you want them to know about this summer and what you're going to be doing, and then we'll pass the torch over to Jerry and he can talk about it too.
Yeah. So, as we all know, this summer is like a really interesting summer. We're going through a historical event with the COVID-19 virus. So, but that's not stopping us. We're still having classes. We're still having auditions. We're still doing what we do, but on a digital level. So that makes it a little bit different. But we artists, we need to create and we need to do our art. So we're going to be doing it digitally. So starting out this summer, we've got our classes, which are happening via the digital process, and we have a whole bunch of camps for Frozen, because we know that everybody loves Frozen.
Oh yeah,
Frozen and Frozen 2, one of my favorite movies. I'm a big fan of Anna, and so we are starting our first Frozen camp next week.
All right, and people can just be in their house. They can turn their AC down to like 50 and really get in the mood for it, right?
Yeah, they can turn the AC down. They can put on like their favorite Frozen costume or whatever they want to wear, and they get online with us. And we've got games, we've got crafts, you'll have dance class every day. You're going to have voice class every day, and then each day we'll also have rehearsal, learning songs and scenes from both Frozen and Frozen 2. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
And that premieres next week. So you can still sign up if you're interested.
Yep.
Yeah, and we even have other camps too that are Frozen. So it's not the only one. So if next week you can't participate in the Frozen class, there's other Frozen classes. But then we also have group voice classes. I know we have a lot of students that want to continue their vocal training. Mm-hmm. And we have the opportunity to do that as well as private voice classes. We have a lot of our voice program is growing and growing and growing to the point where when we first started Broadway at the Rose, when I started at the Rose Theater, I think 8 years ago. Oh my gosh, I've been at the Rose Theater for 8 years.
Loving every moment, right?
Yes. So we had one group voice class, and we had maybe 10 or 12 private voice students. And I think in the
Yeah.
group voice class, we had 4 or 5 kids. Now we have so many students that are amazing singers that are learning to sing and safely and working well with their voice teacher and how to best use their voice for performance. We have so many students that we actually have 2 separate group voice recitals each semester and 2 separate private voice recitals each semester.
And so how are those going to work out this summer? How are those going to be a little bit different for students this summer?
Yeah, it will be different. Kids are going to be doing it online on Zoom, on the Zoom format. So they'll be doing their voice class with their voice teacher. It's going to be Miss Trudy Yates this summer, and she's an excellent voice teacher. She used to be on Broadway, actually. She's an amazing performer. And they'll be doing that. And she sometimes, when she gets excited, she adds a little choreography too, to at least one of the songs. She always throws in like a little something. She's a dancer too. And then at the end of the session, they will do a sharing just like we would normally do in any other class. So parents will be invited on. They'll get to hear the students sing. And if there's any choreography there, they'll get to do that too. So it's all the same thing, just staying safe as we're social distancing.
They'll kind of be doing what we're doing right now, right?
Exactly. Just what
It'll
we're
look
doing
just
right
like this. Yep. So.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly what we're doing right now. And then we also have dance classes at all levels. Children ages 2 up to 18. We've got a level for them. We're doing those. And we also, the remainder of this summer, we have some other camps. We have Descendants Musical Theater Intensive Camp and Greatest Showman Intensive Camp. So we're really excited about that. So we're still going. We are still singing and dancing,
right.
whether it be in our homes or
Yep. Everybody's adapting. So, we'll get there. And I think it's going to be.
I've been dancing around in my living room my whole life. So, now it's just, for my job. So it works out.
Yeah. So Jerry, do you want to piggyback off that at all or?
Sure. One of the camps that at least I had been asked to help, and I'm hoping that I'm still going to have the opportunity, is Descendants. Because Descendants, that not only the camp, but the show comes from a kind of a bigger venue that maybe someday we'll even have in our season lineup. So Descendants Camp is based on the hit musical from Broadway, where all of the good little girls and boys that might have bad parents in the Disney world, they all get together. And I think that our students that sign up for those camps will have every, they'll know exactly what they're signing up for, and that's why they're going to come to us. So that's very exciting. It's also exciting that as we hear digitally, as Sue said, our students that are auditioning for Brigade and will continue to audition during the course of the summer. Again, as Sue said, the COVID has put a lot of obstacles in our way, but is not keeping us down. We are rallying. We are rallying, and we are designing our own kind of green screen backdrops. And so everything that gets sent into the Rose in a digital format, we can hardly wait to see.
All right. And this gives us kind of a new adventure and challenge as artists to have to, we have to adapt to what we're normally used to. And now we're kind of moving into this video and digital world. And I don't know. I think, I think some kids, they're going to enjoy it. And then once they get back into the theater, they're going to love it even more. So, they're going to appreciate it.
We sure hope so, Alex.
Especially when we open up, the Rose Studios, which is coming soon. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So do you guys want to talk about, I know you mentioned Brigade a little bit, so maybe we can talk about that. I know we have auditions coming up, and I know a lot of kids are interested, so and they're kind of wondering what's going to happen. So if you want to talk, Sue, you want to start talking about that?
Yeah. Well, that is one of my favorite subjects to talk about is Brigade. To give you a little history about the Brigade, actually, it was kind of something that started when I began here at the Rose Theater. When I came on as Broadway at the Rose director, our former artistic director, James Larson, came to me and he said, well, Sue, you're now in charge of this big musical theater program. What are you going to do? We got to do something to let everybody perform. That's not just on the main stage, because not everybody is cast in a main stage show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. And I thought about it. And I actually grew up in Omaha. And one of my favorite things to do as a kid was go downtown to a theater that doesn't exist here anymore. And it's called the Firehouse Dinner Theater.
Mm.
And at the Firehouse Dinner Theater, they had what was called the Firehouse Brigade. And you would go there and they would sing and dance and do these performances before the show. It was my favorite thing to go and see. I loved them. They were my idols. And then that particular group would actually stay and be in the show. So I thought about that and I thought, well, gosh, we need to do something like that. We don't have a pre-show or a show that happens before the show. And I thought, well, let's do that. So we decided to do it. And then when we were thinking of a name for it, we couldn't think of anything. Every time we think of a name, we would come back to brigade, the word brigade. So, and I kept trying to stay away from it because I didn't want to copy up the Firehouse Brigade. But I think we're honoring the Firehouse Brigade by calling them that because they're just like that. So anyway, that's just a little history. But when we first started out, we had kids ages 4th grade through 12th grade all doing a show together. And I think we had, Jerry, do you remember? I think we maybe had about 20 kids.
Oh, maybe even more than that.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, maybe, yeah. But they were a wide age range. And then after that, so they were just called the Rose Brigade. And then after that, we had so much interest in doing it that we ended up splitting up the ages. So now we have a senior brigade, which is generally grades 8 through 12, junior brigade, which is generally 4th grade through 7th grade, and the mini brigade, which is generally 1st grade through 3rd grade. So what that means is we have an opportunity for all ages to participate in the brigade if that's something that's for you. You do have to audition. It is something that you have to prepare for, and it is for students that really want to study musical theater and really improve their craft as a musician and as a dancer and as an actor. So if you're interested in auditioning, we're actually starting auditions for next year's brigade, the 2021 season. And since we are doing everything digitally, the auditions are now digital as well. So what all you have to do to participate in the audition is you can email me, SueB@rosetheater.org, or Deprecia White, which is depreciaw@rosetheater.org, or you can just go on the website, rosetheater.org, and you can link to us. And there's information about the audition.
Yeah, if you just go on our website and search Rose Brigade, it'll come up right on there. The search bar is just in the top right. You just click the little microscope and off you go. Yeah, and we just updated all that info, so you can access all that there too. So
perfect. Yeah, so we got all that information, and what we'll do is I'll link you to the materials that we want each student to learn to audition for Rose Brigade. It's a little more if you're auditioning for Senior Brigade. It's not very much if you're auditioning for Mini Brigade, and it's very age appropriate. So all we want you to do is go and learn this really short bit of material, and everybody's going to sing a little bit of a song for us. And if you're in Junior and Senior Brigade, you're going to do a little bit of a dance for us too.
And what are they going to be performing this year?
What are they going to? Oh, that's a great question. Jared, you want to tell them?
Yeah.
Well, for Senior Brigade, we're going to be doing a great show. We're very, very excited. We've had to do some changes along the way because frequently when you decide to do one show, things don't quite work out the way that you hoped they were. And so you have to do something just a little bit different. So as we met with Angie Fry and Sue and Michael James and we decided for our 3 shows, so you're going to have to help me starting at Mini Brigade.
Yeah. So the Mini Brigade, we're actually have grown so much that we have 2 Mini Brigades this year, and 1 Mini Brigade, which we'll rehearse on Saturdays, we'll be doing Seussical Kids. So Seussical is one of my favorite musicals based on all the Dr. Seuss books. There's Horton the Elephant and oh gosh, my mind, and the Who's and all those characters. So that'll be really fun. And the other mini brigade that will rehearse on Wednesdays will be doing Lion King kids. So we'll have Simba and Mufasa and all those cool characters. Yes, Scar.
Can't forget about the bad guys. Come on.
No, I love being a bad guy. So those are the 2 mini brigades. And then for junior brigade, they're going to be doing a great musical called My Son Pinocchio. And My Son Pinocchio is actually written to include many of the really classic, famous Disney songs in it. So it's not just about Pinocchio. It's about all the different Disney characters and toys that have been in, and it's a compilation of some really great Disney songs. So it's going to be a really, really cool show and a really great way for young people to create a lot of these different characters.
And it has no strings on any of us.
Yes. Yeah, the song.
And then our drum roll for our senior brigade show. Since we were not able to proceed with The Sound of Music, which was a big Julie Andrews show, we've picked another Julie Andrews show, and it is Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Yes. Yes. Yay. And if you don't know anything about Thoroughly Modern Millie, you can actually Google it, and there's some YouTube videos of it on there. It is one of my favorite shows. It is fantastic. It takes place in a really great time period during it's during the Depression area, and it's in New York City, and during a period when there's a lot of flappers and gangsters, and the characters are really fun and different, and there's even tap dancing in it. And so I'm hoping that we get some tap dancers in the cast so we can do that. If anybody knows anything about me, I love to tap dance. It's one of my favorite things to do.
I'll say you always break into dance anytime I see you. So
yeah. So I'm really excited about that. And
it also has some great singing possibilities.
It does.
Well. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I mean the singing is fantastic, and for not just the lead character named Millie. I mean, that's some great singing, but there's some great singing for everyone, which is exciting, so singing because
so some of the kids have already, done brigade for years, but if there is somebody that's new and interested, I mean, they should feel free to audition as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, one of the coolest things about brigade, which is also is interesting to me, is that once the kids are in brigade, we there's some requirements along the way. Again, it is a little more committed group. They need to come to their brigade rehearsal, but they also come to an acting class in addition to that, and then they are required to choose one other class with us. They can take as many classes as they want, and many do. Many take a lot of classes, but at minimum, they're taking an acting class and they're taking one other class plus a rehearsal. So these are students that are training and working a lot with us, a lot of hours, and what does that mean? They get really, really good. They're incredible. They're not just talented, but now they're skilled performers. And so when people see them on stage, sometimes people are like, I can't believe that's a student. I can't believe that's a kid. And so a new student, interested actor wanting to join the group sometimes thinks to themselves, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could ever do that. Well, you know what? You can do that.
Right. And a lot of them end up being on the main stage at some point.
They do. They end up being on the main stage. And I always tell everybody, come and audition because we are here to help you do that. I didn't know how to sing and dance before, and somebody taught me, and it is a pleasure for me to be able to teach you that. So come on in, sing what you've got, or sing the song. Excuse me, I shouldn't say sing what you've got. Sing the song that we've assigned. It's a new format this year.
Yep.
And sing it to the best of your ability. Dance it. If you're doing junior or senior brigade, do the dance to the best of your ability. We can tell, if there's something there. We can tell if you're, what your gifts are and where where you need more help. And that's what Jerry and I are here for. We're here to help you. And so
like you said, they will have to sing something that you guys provide this year. So do you want to talk about that, or how they would? I know you said they email you and then they'll get through Band app and all that back end stuff, but do you maybe want to talk about what they're going to have to do specifically, if you can, or if not?
Sure. For the singing portion, no matter what of the groups of the ensembles that you're auditioning for, whether it be mini or junior or senior, what we decided were the pieces from the show that the student would be singing in a voice appropriate key. In other words, if you consider yourself a low voice, we have an option for you. If you consider yourself a high voice singer, we also have an option for you. And so what we did was we made a track for just for you to hear the individual notes, just the melodic structure of the piece that you're going to be singing. And then we also recorded an accompaniment version so that you could sing along and prepare for your audition. Then when you do actually submit your audition, of course, you would use the very brief cutting of the accompaniment and you singing along with it. So that's what we'll be seeing and kind of be considering as we see each and every singer. I want to veer away from that just for a moment, Alex, because you brought up a very important point that many times in the main stage shows, those students from any of our brigade experiences are selected to participate in those main stage shows, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah.
And many times students might stay away from an audition for a main stage show because they haven't had any classwork.
Mm-hmm.
And we encourage anyone, absolutely anyone, whether they've been signed up for our classes, whether those are voice or dance or another musical or dance experience. And we encourage anybody, whoever you might be, to always feel comfortable auditioning for us in any main stage show.
Yeah, definitely. But Brigade is definitely a way to get that experience with professionals like you guys. I mean, that have been doing it for however many years. I don't even know, but a long time. So
it is a great training program to get yourself to that level in a fun, safe environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that that's what the best part about it is, that you come in and we're incrementally learning how to do it, you know, because it is a slower process. We don't learn how to dance in a day. We don't learn how to sing properly in a day because we're dealing with muscles in our body. They're muscle, you know, so we're training those muscles to do what they need to do, just like in sports. So, and we're training our brains to think in a different way. So it takes time, and it is really, really cool to see that transform over time. So if it's your passion to do musical theater, come on out and try it. You know, I've had kids come show up the first day that have never done anything, and we've thought, oh my gosh, they're amazing. We put them in the brigade and they turned out to be amazing.
Yep. So let's talk about the new Rose Studios, because that's where a lot of those rehearsals are going to be taking place and things like that. Even the classes, once we get back in person, whenever that's safe for everybody and possible. They're almost done with construction, but I don't know if Sue, you've been doing all the virtual tours for us lately. So if you want to maybe just talk about kind of what's going to be going on in a couple of those classrooms once we open up, and just kind of get people excited, because it is just a huge building. I can't remember the exact square footage, but I think it's the biggest one in Omaha, maybe even in the US. I'm not 100% sure, but
we've got to be up there. I mean, it is huge. It is huge. It's like when I first walked in and it didn't have walls, it was overwhelming. Now that they have the walls, it still feels huge, but we've got,
and they're painting right now, and each class is color coded.
It's incredible. I mean, it is going to be one of the top performing arts centers. It has to be in the Midwest, if not beyond that. I'll put it that. So I think we got to get it done, and we'll have an expert come in and call it that. It's got to be. It has so many things in there. You walk in, you've got a huge lobby. We've got 6 huge studios. If you have ever been in our old studio, which is also on 120th and Center, the largest studio in our old studio, which we used to call the Pink Room, we have 6 of those now. 6 of those. They're huge. And each one has, well, except for one of them we're not putting in the raised floor, but all the ones that we'll be doing dance on has a professionally installed raised floor with a Marley top. Everyone has a mirror and bars for dance. So that's all available. We have, we ordered one of the best stereo systems for each one. That's all in there. So, and the
It's going
facility.
to be Bluetooth too.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know I had to learn, I had to like really use my Bluetooth, get better at my Bluetooth use because so we went through that. So yeah, they're all on Bluetooth. The internet's already set up in there, so we're good to go. But in addition to those studios, we also have, I believe it's 5 other rooms that are smaller. And those won't have dance floors in them, but those are great rooms for Jerry's music rehearsals, private voice, even a drama class, all sorts of.
Yeah. And a couple of those are the smaller rooms where it's a little more intimate. You can have the one-on-ones, you got a piano in there, and it's just all the audio and everything in there. The what do you call it? Like insulated rooms. So all the vocals will sound great in there. And it's and we got a lunchroom. I mean, there's a basement studio. It's right next door to the old one, so you can't miss it. I mean, if you're going right now, although nobody's going there right now, but if you were to drive there right now and just look to the right, you'd see it right there, the huge sign up there. It's incredible. So
it's right there. And what is so nice is that now you can go, we have a lot of students. I mean, we have so many different students and with so many different needs. We do have the student that wants to come and they want to take one class that meets 1 day a week and learn their, do their thing and go. We have that, we have that availability, and then they can, wait for mom and dad in the big new lobby and whatever. But we also have space now we have a lot of students that will come and they'll take 2 or 3, 4 classes, and now they have a place to go get their lunch, or they have a place to go sit down and do their homework in between class, or or just chat with their friends.
Right. It's kind of a hangout area too now.
And I think that's so important. One of the greatest parts of being in theater or being in dance or growing up in the arts are the friendships that you make along the way. And I mean, I know as an adult now, I am still very close with many of the people that I grew up training with, and we just trained in little tiny rooms in people's basements.
Yeah, you kind of learn, you make connections with people, and someday that could, you both could work together in the future, things like that. If you are interested in becoming a theater professional, and even if not, I mean, you still get those life skills, and you learn how to be in front of a crowd and, talk in front of people and learn social skills and all that stuff. So I feel like it benefits everything.
I
some other things can't.
Because I think that, the arts brings about so many benefits to it, and many of our students, they have no desire. We do have students that have every desire to go on to college and be a performer, be an actor. But we have lots of students who they're there just to have that arts experience and then go on and just take those skills that they learned with them and whatever they choose to be, a doctor or, a dentist or, an architect, doesn't matter. They're taking those skills with them. And that's super exciting for us.
I'd also like to just lift up the fact about the new studio that it's completely, with one exception, it's completely on a single level, which really lets us speak to the part of our mission statement that we are there for any student, regardless of their skill set or regardless of their ability. So for a whole new possibility for students with any kind of disability, we are going to have a state-of-the-art place for you. And so we really reach out and encourage students of all levels of ability, physical abilities, to participate with us.
Yeah, and we'll have a final virtual tour walkthrough later on when it's all completely finished, and so that way people can, since we can't open up, right away, people will still be able to kind of see what it looks like on the inside and just see how incredibly large it is. I mean, you
Absolutely.
walk around the hallway, right?
One of the best things about it as a teacher for the old studios is, and I think that Sue will agree with this, is that you will no longer be interrupted in your teaching process by students who need to use the restroom facilities, or parents who need to use the restrooms. They're all right out there in the public, and it's ready to go, and there's a hallway that takes you to it. In fact, there's even more than one set.
That's incredible. Isn't it how funny how we as artists just learn to adapt and, when you have
Absolutely.
to go through the studio to get to the restroom, that's what you did. And that's,
Just knock on the door.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one part of the new studio that we haven't brought up that I want to remind everybody about is we actually do have a sharing performing area
Oh,
in
yes.
the studio.
We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. And it is incredible. It would be probably comparable to like a black box theater. And there's going to, but it's going to be only for students taking classes with us. So the plan is not to do professional performances there. That performing area is for you, the student, to do performing. And that's so cool. It's for you. It's not for us adult actors or anybody else. So there's going to be, the brigade could be doing performances there. A lot of times before we take the brigade out to the Junior Theater Festival where they compete and stuff, we want the parents to see them. We want guests to see them before we put them on the main stage for pre-shows. So they could be performing there. We have our dance company, the Dance Lab at the Rose. We'll probably be doing some sharings there. We have tons of production camps that are happen throughout the year.
Yep. And they all we got raised seating in there.
Yeah.
So all the seating you're going to be able to see and all that. And so when you talked about JTF, I know you guys both get to go to that, right? Yeah.
We do.
So why don't you talk a little bit about like that experience and just maybe, I know there's been some awards won and whatnot. So why don't you maybe just talk a little bit about that experience and what maybe, I know some kids know what to expect because they've been there before, but maybe somebody who's super interested in Brigade and is like, oh, that sounds really cool. Kind of talk about just what that experience is like.
Jerry, do you want to start us out?
Start us out, Jerry.
No, I think I'm going to turn it over to you. So
Oh,
I'll just
okay.
jump in.
Well, the Junior Theater Festival is the festival for musical theater students around the world. Okay. So if you are a musical theater student, they take them as young as, I believe like second grade up to seniors in high school, they all gather. And there's two. There's one that meets in Atlanta, Georgia in January. And then there's one that meets in Sacramento, California, and that's in February. Actually, I'm not telling you the full truth because they did just add one in England and they added one in Australia, but we have yet to attend.
I was going to say, that'd be fun.
In England or Australia, but right. I'll let you know. And what they do is the kids all do a Broadway junior show. So when we announced our Brigade shows, those were all Broadway junior shows and they're musicals. And so they have to be that type of a show. And they learn that show back in their hometowns, just like us. And and they perform them. We do that by performing the pre-shows or any other little performances that we may add to that. So they perform those shows in their hometowns. And then they all gather for this weekend for the Junior Theater Festival. I think last year at the Atlanta one, I think there were 6,700 participants. It's very large.
Right.
A lot of kids. And they all come and they're celebrating musical theater. It is unreal. So if you're a musical theater nerd like me, which I'm the president of the Musical Theater Nerd Club, you will just be in seventh heaven because you walk in and they're playing show tunes from the start of the weekend. And what you're going to do is you're going to share 15 minutes of your show that you did in your hometown. You're going to be adjudicated by some of the top musical theater performers, producers, choreographers, musical directors in the world. And they're going to give you feedback right then and there. They're going to talk to you about what you could do better. They're going to work with you as after you do your performance. You're going to see everybody else do their performances. Well, not everyone else, because it's hard to watch 6,700 people do their performances, but they break you into groups.
You got to focus too,
Yeah, you got to. So you get to see other places, other theaters, just like the Rose Theater, other schools that have musical theater programs. They're going to perform. You're also going to get to take workshops and classes from these people, from these Broadway and musical theater professionals. You're also going to see shows of other musicals and new musicals that are going to come out. You're going to see shows. They always have guest performers, people from Broadway, famous people will come. And a lot of times we don't even know who it's going to be. They keep it a secret and then they tell us right before who we're going to get to experience that weekend for the Musical Theater Festival. And And the best part about the Junior Theater Festival, I think, is that it really helps students, first of all, connect as artists. You go and you think, oh, I'm in the Rose Brigade. It's just the 25 of us. You get there and you realize, oh my gosh, there's so many kids like me. And you make friends with these kids and you connect with them. A lot of them are still connecting, talking to each other online and stuff. And you are totally enriched and excited and just enveloped with the love for musical theater. We always come back exhausted, but we come back so excited from this experience, because it's nothing but a big, huge celebration of what we love, which is musical theater.
Yeah.
And then we come back and we say, what can we do next year? What can we do? How can we make ours better? What do we,
right.
And everybody's all excited.
And out of those, what you say, 6,700 kids? I mean, you guys won. What did you win last year?
Last year we won, Jerry won the excellence in acting. Yeah, we've won several awards. We have won excellence in acting before. We've won excellence in dance.
Yeah.
Excellence in music.
Excellence in music. We won excellence in ensemble work. And the top award is called Outstanding Production, and we've gotten that twice. So,
wow.
And that's really hard to get.
I would say 6,700 kids. I mean,
there's a lot of groups. I mean, there's a lot of groups, and they're from all over the world. I mean, there'll be groups from South Korea, England, Australia.
Japan.
Yeah. I mean, they're from everywhere. They're not just from, the United States. So it is super cool to see what they're doing and find out how they rehearse their shows or their process, or, get tips on how to bring their ideas back here to Nebraska with us. Yeah. So it's cool.
Wow. It's a lot of info for people to take in here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And, I will say about the Junior Theater Festival, one of the biggest surprises, I think, about going was that it's not only super fun for, Jerry and I, of course, we have a blast, and the students, but the parents that go with us.
Yeah.
The parents love it, because the parents get to go to the shows too. They get to participate and watch, and they come back all excited too, because they see what is going on. And, I know there's a lot of parents out there that, and I can say this, my parents were two people like that, that raise a kid that has this great interest in musical theater, and they don't really know that much about it. They don't know what to do. They go to something like the Junior Theater Festival, and they come back, oh, wow, I get it now. And then they're excited about it too. So we as a team can help raise up that kid in musical theater education.
That's something interesting about our parents and sponsors for the students that do participate in the Brigade program. Because many times when we come back from the Junior Theater Festival, it's the parents who would like to form an ensemble.
Right. Let's say start an adult brigade,
they can
right?
participate and be adjudicated as well.
Yes, I have been asked to form an adult brigade more than once. So we have not started that yet.
Let's say someday, right? Someday.
Yeah, someday. Yeah, but that has come.
So, kind of going off that, did you want to talk about the dance lab at all? I mean, did you want to kind of bring that in here, since we got a little bit of time left here? So.
Sure. Yeah, Katrinka's having trouble getting on. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah, let's talk about the dance lab. So we have also within Broadway at the Rose, we have our own student dance company, and we actually break them into 4 different groups, or sometimes 3 different groups, depending on how many kids. And they're called the Dance Lab at the Rose. And just like the Rose Brigade, they audition to be in the group. And just like the Rose Brigade, if they're accepted into the group, they have to take the classes that we require. Because again, it's a training program to become a better performer and to have a lot of different performance opportunities. So we're also in the midst of, we just did our first dance lab round of dance lab auditions. And then our next one will be coming up soon. You can find all that information on the website, rosetheater.org.
Yep, just search the dance lab.
Yep, just stick dance lab in there. And our dance lab director, her name is Katrinka Staton, and she's incredible. She's been with us for 3 years, and she is one incredible dance company director. She actually trained at the Rose Theater in the dance company back when they had the ballet company at the Rose, which we don't have a ballet company anymore, but she was a student at the time. And now she's an adult and she's our director. And she trains them up, not just herself. We have a couple other instructors and they have to take so many classes per week. They have to take their ballet classes. They take a contemporary class and a jazz class, and then they take tap as well. And then they are cast in so many dances. So it's a little bit different than Rose Brigade in that we cast you in maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5 dances with different choreographers. And that usually involves Katrinka. We have another choreographer teacher named Mimi. Sometimes it's myself. Or we even bring in guest choreographers. We'll call up a really well-known or a nationally acclaimed choreographer to come in and be a guest director for us. And they learn these pieces and then they go out and they compete them. We do, a lot of dance studios do this, and we do it very similarly, where we send them out into the dance competition circuit and they perform them. A lot of them will also choose to learn a solo and compete that, or duets and stuff. So that's what the dance lab does. And if you've ever come to any of our dance concerts, spring dance concerts, you will find that they are beautiful dancers. And just like the brigade, they tend to become really good friends and enjoy each other's time, not just learning their art, but learning, and
a lot of them are in it their entire childhood. A lot of them start super young and they, go all the way up till they're 18 years old. And it's amazing to see the growth throughout those years. I mean,
it is. And, some of them too, you'll also see on the main stage. If you came to ELF last holiday season, we had a couple of our dance lab dancers being as some of the little elves, and they were like doing lots of flips and
back flips and
yeah.
I can do a somersault here and there. I don't know how they do those double back handsprings and
me neither.
Oh, I bet you could if you wanted to.
Maybe if you we'll start the adult brigade. I'll enroll in that, and we'll go from there. Okay.
And we'll add in that adult dance lab at the road.
Adult dancing too.
We'll just up into that too. Have you doing those aerials and back handsprings?
No, but I think TDL and brigade are both just great ways. I mean, they're two completely different. Well, they're intertwined in a sense. There is dancing in both. The TDL is strictly dancing though, and I think that you're very competitive and. Just like brigade, I mean, you guys are always bringing home awards and it's awesome to see the growth, I think. So
we're really proud of them. And I think, one of the successes, and Jerry, you can chime in on this too, but I think one of the things that we do that makes, you say we win the awards, and to us, it always feels great to win an award. Who doesn't want to win an award? But, we just want to do a really great, clean, fabulous performance. That's what we go for. You know what I mean? Because, dancing and singing is not baseball. It's not a sport. There's not a winner and there's not a loser.
Right.
It's art,
for people like me who don't dance, though, I see the shiny, trophies and I'm like, okay, that's pretty nice.
But I think it just comes from just coming in the room and working towards that, the best performance that you can do.
Yeah.
And that's a really healthy way of viewing it, I feel. You know what I mean? Because you could still go in and do your best performance and you still may not win the trophy because it is, subjective. But I've learned that, for the mental game of performing is just knowing that and knowing what you can do better or what you did well. I think that's so important for performers, and that's how we learn to get better, and that's how we learn to feel confident in ourselves too.
Yeah.
And know and come away from that performance feeling really good about what you did.
Yeah.
As an outsider to Sue's and everybody else who participates as an educator in the dance program at Broadway at the Rose, one of the most amazing things and biggest transformations I have witnessed this past year is in the boys dance class that Michael James offers. It is truly mesmerizing to just watch that group of anywhere from it appears to be about 3rd or 4th grade young male dancers through high school work their stuff out. It is just incredible to watch that group under Michael's direction.
Yeah, Michael's just amazing too, and those
it is amazing.
Kids look up to him so much. So
yeah, and you know, I'm so glad you brought that up, Jerry, because we do have boys in dance lab at the Rose, and boys training and dance only can help the boy. And I think that if the boys were here in this interview right now, they would tell you that class, it's a workout. you know, so
total.
Yeah. I mean, so it's just as hard of a workout as if you went to football practice or baseball practice. They are working hard and they're working every muscle in their body.
Right. A lot of football players take, ballet and things like that too, because it makes, any athlete like that in any sense. I mean, being a dancer tops that 10 times over, I think. I mean,
it does.
It's yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, I think
really
that also translates, to anything else. If they're interested in multiple things, you don't have to just pick one. You could take dance, and if you also want to, play some other sport, it helps that too, So yeah. I think there's a lot of facets to dance that help in anything you do. So
yeah, actually one of our top boy students, he's in the brigade. He takes boys dance. He's done several main stage shows, and he's on the football team.
Right.
And he makes it work. You know what I mean? He makes it work, and he's figured it out schedule wise. And that dance has only shifted over to help him in football.
Yeah.
Stamina is important too,
Yep.
So it works both ways. So we have a lot of guys like that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing to end on, I think. So unless you guys have anything else you wanna talk about, if you want to mention any last minute classes that you think people should enroll in for the summer, feel free. Otherwise, we'll exit.
Yeah. Well, all I'm going to say is I would say if it's of interest to you, try it. This is the time. It's a great time. We're not doing a whole lot. I mean, the world is different. So if it's something you've never tried, reach out and try it. And I've always tried something once. I always think you should try it once. And if it's not for you, that's great, but you've experienced it. And if it is for you, we're here to help you even take it to the next level. And most people will come and have a great time. So we'd love to see you. We'd love to see your faces on Zoom this summer. And hopefully in person next fall.
We will be back. We will be back.
Yeah.
Everybody will be back. It's just a matter of time. And but I think the virtual camps are a great way this summer to just stay involved, get involved. They're not all day camps or anything. So you still you can do some things in the morning and still have your afternoon during the summer. And so I think it is a great thing for kids to just try out this summer. So
Right. And if you want to audition for Rose Brigade, if you want to audition for the dance lab at the Rose, or just enroll for a class, go to the website, go to rosetheater.org, click on either Rose Brigade or Dance Lab at the Rose or education, and look for that information. It's all there.
Anything you want to find on the website, you just click that little microscope or the little magnifying glass in the top right corner there, and you can just search anything: brigade, dance lab, classes, camps, any of that stuff. You just search the keywords and you'll find it all on our website.
Yep.
So,
and then we're always there to answer questions too.
Yep.
People contact us all the time. We're there for you. We'll get back to you and help you out.
Yep.
No question is a dumb question. That's what I always say.
Jerry, do you have any last words?
Nope. I would just say ditto.
All
right. So
right.
you'll definitely want to come and take Jerry's Descendants class.
Yay!
I want to take that class.
Well, it was great meeting with you guys on Zoom here, and we hope to see you soon in person. And we can't wait to start. Summer camps just started on yesterday. So there are a bunch of coming up June. The next round, start next Monday, and then so on and so forth, all the way through the summer this year. So we have transferred all the camps online to summer this summer here. So yeah.
Well,
all right.
We'll be there.
Well, listen to all our podcasts and check us out. They're on all the streaming services: Apple, Stitcher, Google Play, all that stuff. So until next time, it was great talking to y'all.
All right. Thanks.